It doesn't matter what time you run past Manchester Airport, 2 AM, 3 AM, 4, 5, 6, that place never sleeps. Well, I'm definitely out of the connecting roads of Manchester Airport now. I'm just running through PLR. I'm going to do 11 kilometres today. Well, 11.3, 7 miles. Get back just after 5, make the kids pack lunches, and set off for work. That's the run finished. Average pace 4:46 per kilometre, 11.3 kilometres, bang on. My heart rate was 133 beats per minute, and it is now just gone 10 past 5 in the morning. I'll get back, make some packed lunches up. I'm on a split today, so I don't need any. Get some of the kids done, and then head off for work. Get a nice parking spot on the back of the depot, so I don't get sandwiched in by the buses during my split, so I can come back home and I can actually enjoy my split and not run during my split in the middle of my split shift. I'm finding this a lot better, even though it is at the extreme end, getting up at 4 o'clock to go for a run, but last week it was 2 o'clock, so it's a big difference. But it's just like, I think the more and more I'm around people each day, I've never been around so many people in one day. You can be around about 500 people more with such disconnect and no conversation, no connection. It's just almost humanless interaction when you're driving that bus. It's weird. I find it better when I'm on my own. At the end of the day, the only faces I want to see are my loved ones, like my missus and my kids, and just go home to them. I'm just done with just being out there at the end of the day. And the same with the running, like I find it a lot better when I'm just on my own running and just around nobody. Honestly, it's weird how that mindset shifted. Anyway, my running for the day is complete. I can rest up, my hamstring feels completely fine now, which I knew it would. You just need to get to know your body and what works. Oh, and I've got to put the blue bin out because it's blue bin day. I'm not missing that. I've just got to the depot now. I'm going to start, well, I've got to go in and sign on for my shift. All these buses here. The yellow ones are the brand new ones, some old magic ones. It's supposed to be a busy day, but it's not going to be busy. I know what busy is. This isn't busy. Today, I'm on duty 218 today. Now, some drivers know about a duty and they could just tell you what's involved in it without looking at the board. I'm not one of them. I need to look at the board because I'm still more or less brand new. So I'm on duty 218. I start at 7 o'clock. I leave here at 20 past 7. I go dead to Manchester Airport, then I do the 43 service into Piccadilly. Back out of Piccadilly, I do the 43 back to Manchester Airport, and then I do the 43 from Manchester Airport to the top of Sharston Depot, where another driver's going to take the bus over, and I essentially go home then for 4.5 hours before I'm back at 3:30 to do the next part of my shift. That is all that is involved in the first part, but it will be a busy period. It is now 6:46, so I've got time for a coffee, chill out, set things up and get on the bus. I've already found my bus, but I've had to go back to the car to get my gloves because it's going to be a bit freezing this morning. Basically, when you get assigned a running board, you get your bus location from that running board, so there's mine, WDS 302. Before we leave, all the afternoon, whenever you start, you have to perform a load of checks on the bus. My bus is just cut out because it's been on for more than 5 minutes. Right, that's the checks all done. So now we're leaving the depot. Run dead to Manchester Airport. We'll pick the 43 service up and do that. One trip into town, one trip back out of town, and then a trip from the airport. I cover Woodhouse Park area, basically, Manchester Airport, Woodhouse Park, and then I drop the bus with another driver. Anyway, I'll pick this trip up halfway through my first trip, or when I've just finished my first trip.
first trip into town as the 43 was a heavy one. The amount of volume of people on Wimslow Road and Oxford Road that get picked up and that don't get picked up is ruthless. The services really struggle to cope with that. I'm not sure how late I am, but I am about 10 minutes, maybe over 10 minutes late getting into a town. Been quite late this morning, most of the time. All in all, it hasn't been that bad, considering you hear most of the stories like, oh, you know, it's going to be really busy today, all the students are back, and the students was back, and some bus stops was massively crowded, but once you loaded your bus up, you can't really do anything more than that, apart from let one off and then let one on. I managed to get into Piccadilly on my first trip about 9 minutes late, and I left 9 minutes late, and somehow arrived back to Manchester Airport only 5 minutes late, so it wasn't that bad. And I've left Manchester Airport on time onto my next trip, which is only a little bit of a trip. And then I'm going to hand the bus over to the next driver, which then frees me up to go home. But this ticket machine is playing up, and I don't know what's up with it. So what I plan to do is get to the next timing point and reboot it, if I can. This has been a tight trip. I should be in Piccadilly now. I'm about 5 minutes away. And when I get into Piccadilly, I'll be leaving straight away. Because from the moment of getting into Piccadilly, I've got 8 minutes before I need to be leaving again. So I'm probably going to get in there and maybe get enough time to load up and leave, but I doubt it. Probably leave a couple of minutes late. So, go around this bus. You gonna let me pass, Mr. Bus? Yes, you are. That's tight. We're not in no rush anyway. Sometimes you can literally panic about saving yourself minutes, and when you do that, you put yourself in a situation where you don't think clearly. If you're going to be late, just be late. Like, you cannot control the traffic, the circumstances, the influx of people. You have to just roll with it. If you worry and start pushing and try and catch time back up, minutes and seconds, it doesn't go well for you in the end anyway. Piccadilly is busy, man. Swinging into the bus station, my numbers are already up for the 101. Back to Wythenshawe, so I depart for in 3 minutes. I have managed to leave the stand, the 101 stand, 1 minute late. That's what I want to see. I thought I was going to be much later than that, but to be honest, this last trip looks like it's just going to be 10 or 15 minutes late. I can just tell by the traffic on the way up into town on the parkway and on the way into town after I exited the parkway. So unless it's all cleared up by the time I get round, I don't anticipate getting back to the depot on time. I've already come to peace with I won't be finishing at 7:10. I'll probably be finishing at 7:30. 4 minutes late, all in all, which isn't that bad. Knock my numbers off and get back to the depot, because I am done seeing random faces and picking up random people, and that is it for me now. Today I'm going home to see the only people I want to see. It feels so good to be done for the day and going home. Cannot even describe it. You all know that, because when you get out and go work all day, the last thing you want to do is be in there a minute longer than you need to. Let's get home.